Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles here on KwingsLetsPlays, brought to you by our friends over at Capcom, who provided a copy for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. Today's episode is episode 18, Trespassing in the Night, where the Hamburglers will be today's people. And also, just a little reminder, Amber's throat is sore from all her streaming, so she'll be sipping some tea that I brewed for her. Thankfully she won't have to do as many characters today because it's mostly guy time. So Gregson, some burglars, and everybody in between. So, without further ado, we're going to start. I also made an additional save file just in case things get a little dicey because we are experiencing some slight technical difficulties today. But anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good one. And illegal entry.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, no distractions, please. Okay. We were walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff store was ajar, see? Oh, yeah, it was, some kind of sign begging for us to go in, was it?
The low and the high voice.
But once we got inside, oh blimey, Lumi, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what it was, but the door was locked from the inside. I've never done nothing, governor. You never took nothing, we just left after that, nice and quiet. Uh-huh.
Why did you go in there in the beginning?
Sip your tea, sweetie. A terrible coincidence it would seem.
I finished my tea.
You did?
I glued it down.
Oh my gosh.
I was very thirsty.
Well, if you want, you can pour more from the water, and then you can heat up the water and you can put the tea bags back in, because I washed some dishes so you could use a little plate. And then, because those tea bags still have tea in them, and there's still honey at the bottom, so when you put water in and you fill it up again, then it will... You need a hug? Okay. Thank you for all your hard work. Why don't you go heat up your tea?
I messed up your stream.
Nope, you didn't mess up my stream. Remember that the tea bags can't go in the microwave, though, because they have metal. But there's a little plate that you can put the tea bags on. Okay. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. That's right, the witness's testimony is consistent with the crime seen in every detail. Blah, blah, blah. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. Ba-ba-bum. Yes, I see. I must say it does appear to be an overwhelming simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Sweetie, are you making more water? Okay. Counsel! Huh? What? Yes, what's going on? What's the matter, Ryuno? Sorry, I was just, stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by the pair in the stands. I know that it's all nonsense, but because I saw it with my own eyes, I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies that it is. Why are you guys saying FYI? That's a different game. Illegal entry. Alright. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, when the door was ajar, see? Hold it! Hold it! The front door of Windibank's was ajar, you say. What time of night was this? It must have been about... Righto, Ringo, Oh, yeah, I'd say so, right, Sulky, How would I know? The place would have been shut once in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it was true, ain't it, Ringo? I'm not sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky? Me old friend? Leave me alone, please. There definitely was a small lamp burning on the inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pro tip. If you pursue... 1 second, please. I gotta open up my cell phone. I'm a bit slow. Okay, actually, that works out well. Okay, pro tip. If you pursue both the brothers about each other's statements, you'll get a gold level achievement. Oh, okay. I was actually planning on... I always ask everybody when I do Ace Attorney, but thank you. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Objection! This is pure conjecture. Ah, perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened! No. It was like some kind of sign begging us to go in, was it? No, something like that. Hold it! What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? Oh, they do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it now? It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of it. It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time. Don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. No, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good at lies, are they?
Well, you can't deny it, right? It led us to the bloke what looks like our brother. I say, cut it out, would you? We look nothing of alike. Those chips are getting a chomping today. But once we were inside, bloomy blimey, something... Hold it. A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, governor. I can swear to that. Yep, it was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, brother? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Winterbank always liked to use his gun lying around on the counter.
Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found that the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Winterbank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
Huh. Well, that's true, Iris. I remember him saying that as well. So, we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Hi, sweetie. Wonderful.
Oh no, it's too hot.
Okay, relax. We went in to see what was the buzz because it was locked from the inside. I think, probably.
People said your Irish voice is cute.
I haven't done my Irish one yet.
Oh, Iris.
Oh, my Iris voice. Oh, okay. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? Yes, my learned friend is having... If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. I love drawings. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door out of the storeroom.
'Cause there was, only a little old lamp burning, not much to see.
Yeah, the store was, hidden by a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I would think.
Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo.
Oh, well, Nash, yay, I suppose you'd have to... We ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or a scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, with the courageous, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These guys are none of that. These gentlemen are the latter of the inclination, my learned friend. It would seem is the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, consuls. So I believe we all understand that the door was indeed locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses, please.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that quiet night.
Oh. You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was the Beldam, you see, as it wasn't it?
Oh, it was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets.
There's no way that little guy could talk that low.
Sure there is. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left, nice and quietly. Or so you say.
That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers. We're not bulgers.
What?
Well, we are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled my dukes out, me lucky lockets.
Then how do you guys rob people?
Yeah, so you'd clearly like us to believe... Eh? Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Oh! Blimey, Governor!
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? Oh, it was. And thank you for telling the court that you shot Mr. Holmes. Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes.
They shot the greatest Holmes? What?
Oh, I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor led from the hospital he was rushed to.
Oh.
The great Holmes! Oh, no!
On the night in question, these pair were arrested by the police within minutes of discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious comeuppance rapidly gave them away. And when we searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. My word! Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it.
Ah!
Oh no.
The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, consul.
Did that work out?
The court will hold this weapon as evidence. The Sulkin brothers' gun has been entered into the court record. Yes.
My honey's at the bottom of my tea.
That's where honey's supposed to go.
Get it?
Now, my learned Japanese friend. Huh? Yes, what is it, Dracula? Here's to your successfully presenting the evidence. Huh? For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Objection! Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there.
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. Huh? In the defense fails. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence, huh? Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night, huh? Yes, the court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof, young man. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night?
The fact that there's a second gun right, or oh no, that the blood on the
Do they have
door.
a calendar?
there's blood on the...
Oh, right! The blood sample things.
The blood on the...
Yeah.
I mean, there's blood on the door there.
The blood samples.
So the blood on the door.
Yep. Let's try it.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio, Your Honor. What? What on earth do you have there, Consul? During the course of our investigation, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
Dude.
Well, will you stop with your prejudice, please? My gosh, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio, which maybe even Dracula himself would be able to read. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding that in? Yes, Your Honor. No more dallying then, Consul. Present the, evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the scene? It'd be this one.
Take that!
What is that? Explain, please. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? That's right. Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears that the bullet is still lodged there. Uh-oh. Now my throat's going.
Sorry, sweetie.
Yes, as your lordship noticed. Well, I mean, I was wondering when it was going to go out during the Ace Attorney series, because it was very demanding for us. That's why we did uploads last time, but uploads are very hard to do on YouTube right now, at least for this channel. The bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight. Well, this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. Yep, that's correct, Your Honor. And while it isn't infutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawn shop. I'm not saying broker anymore. Pawn shop last night.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Shayna says, is it okay to be presenting blood samples to Dracula?
Yeah, we don't even know what he's drinking. Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
I'm assuming it's wine or grape juice, but...
let me drink my crimson liquid, yes.
It's like, what is really in there?
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Take that, chalice. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawn shop illegally. But, and like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Yee! Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We ain't deal. We had a deal. We weren't gonna get into them details. Tell 'em, Sulky. Set a bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. Yes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Japanese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? Yes. As we've been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Holmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the victim. Ah! In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all.
Huh?
So that's it, huh? Okay. That's it! We didn't have nothing to do with it! We didn't, Nash, we didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? We're in for it now, bruv. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Holmes. It would seem the man punished the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Visited, patronized. Where's he going with this? Mr. Holmes appeared to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says you. Okay, maybe Luke should do Iris.
Oh boy. Not me! Don't give me that look! He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders!
What's that, Consul? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. Yes, your lordship, as surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a very small timing device. Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. 8 o'clock.
Fernando was hyped about you doing that.
8:30. 9. 9:30. As the court will observe.
Sorry, I should have moved it to tomorrow.
You're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
As the court will observe, a copious identical prints are produced in quite a desultory fashion. I like to count. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. Oh, there are. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour? I'm afraid I failed to see what's going on. How would that help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of many 30-minute intervals? One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witness currently in the stand was not caught on camera.
Hey, that's a bit of a fair talk. Yay!
Hey, Lady loves the skulkins. Witnesses, at the time did you trespassing begin?
It must have been after 1, right, brother?
Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yay, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord!
Oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh. Why did she have the gun?
It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! Uh-oh.
Oh, she went into the shop to try to see if the manuscript was there.
As the court can clearly see from these pictures. Uh-oh. That's pretty... The accused is pictured gun in hand facing the victim over the counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quiet! Quite! One can clearly see in this image that events unfold that way. The court will take this photograph print as evidence, if you please, counsel. The photographic print of Gina was added into the court record.
Oh no! I don't believe it, Kitty!
Sounds like Miss Piggy now. In short,
well, Miss Piggy is voiced by a guy, I'm pretty
yeah, that's true. The accused is only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Winterbank. Yeah!
Oh no.
Whoopsies. It's alright.
I say, me lord.
Huh?
I wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Yes, quite. I took a barely bullet to the knee in the Battle of Milan, 1880, do you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of a chaps like us on the battlefield, my good man. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? I carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. And we'll go down together, you mark my words. One for all, and all for one, and all that.
Okay. So what does that have to do with the case?
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached an agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Gardev squadron's position, sir. What? No! It's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the courtman on the double.
My lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too.
Oh, I think I find the truth as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. Ha ha!
Let's see if this works.
Yay! I wouldn't have left in there if it just been about all honesty. I can't actually remember it, by gummit.
Situation clear. Stop. No room for dots. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry, brothers. They are unlucky. Okay, I don't know. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court, please.
Guilty.
Guilty. Oh. They're doing
Guilty.
this. Oh, God.
Guilty.
Guilty. That is how he speaks. Guilty. Okay. Guilty.
I would just be Putin.
I don't know how to sound like Putin. It is indeed appear that the jury has unanimous in its leaning already.
To be Putin, you just have to
Guilty.
ride barebacked on a huge bear through the forest in freezing cold weather without a shirt. And then you're Putin.
I can't do that. That photograph! It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
Well, Guinea didn't shoot him.
Oh my gosh. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to summation examination. I figured you'd like to. Very well, the court grants permission for the circus.
Okay, you do.
So you refuse to admit defeat again? How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Oh, boy.
Jeez.
Okay. Jurors' contentions. All the evidence clearly points to the finger of the guilt at this young pickpocketed.
As a housemaid, I should like to see no filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in the stereo, the truth would be popped out. Aha! Yeah, if I have left in there, I should think there'd be repercussions now or something.
Mind made up. Stop. Radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
In motherland, we say, never judge clothes by judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
You're a criminal, though.
He is a criminal. He's an assassin.
Why is he petting a little mouse? Though?
Because they didn't have a little cat.
Aww.
The circumstances of the crime and evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom locked from the inside in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by the witnesses.
Yes, Dr. Santa is one of the jurors.
Yep. Not to mention this print. Take it from chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl is on the verge of pulling that bully of a trigger.
You don't know what happened, though.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you, young man.
But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. All right, which means there's more to this situation than we have yet to see. Agreed.
You have the floor, Counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
What if the guys came behind them and he was scared because there were guys behind them and Gina grabbed his gun to go defend him or something?
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
The defense's rebuttal.
All the evidence clearly points to the finger of the guilty at this point. Oh, hang on. You're Mr. Natsumi's landlord, Mr. Garadev, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Oh, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn-up for the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything.
I can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garadev house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally of a soul to take up the tendencies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet, but bad enough that the old girl's clapped up.
What does that mean?
Is she in jail?
Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot, but not for us. That's for dash certain.
I suppose not.
Course. There can be no suggestion of being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously.
Obviously, but honestly, I really wish she'd pay more attention to the trial and less to the juror number 2. Oh my gosh!
What? As a housemaid, I should like to see filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. Huh?
Oh boy. Polishing the bench I see again.
A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have passed through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpursers, and crossmen. The scum of the earth they are.
A little harsh, perhaps.
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Herlock Sholmes, correct?
That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rance magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Sholmes, a maid. Right.
It's really quite unforgivable, it is. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Holmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail, indeed. They're all gutter scum, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it might just be an idea to get your facts straight anyway.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement then. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective.
I agree with you. The shooting of Mr. Sholmes was an unforgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank.
I'm afraid you're splitting hairs, sir.
Sorry?
Whether it was the thieves or the pickpurse, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Filth that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion.
Thanks so much for sharing.
Changing this maid's mind isn't gonna be easy.
Runo! It was one of the two brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it?
Yes, without a question.
Well then, I'll never forgive them.
Thanks, Iris.
Oh, Iris.
Perhaps we can use this maid's statement to help us somehow, do you think?
Maybe. Let's listen carefully to each juror, what they have to say first.
Right. I think you'll find it that if you look at the photograph in the stereo, the truth will pop out. Ha ha!
Hang on. What do you mean, look at the photograph in the stereo?
Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection! But there's no indication that the defendant there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun.
All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information.
By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes?
Yes, he is.
Oh, how did you know?
Let's call it a lucky guess.
It never gets old seeing the two prints merged into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Ugh.
Of course.
Oh yes, I think I'll find that Stereoscope here is to stay, giving us new perspectives as we could only dream before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen.
There's a second camera. That's right, Joggle.
If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you.
Where's the second? There was another angle.
If I am left in there, I should think I'll be in repercussions by now.
What? What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
Eh? Yeah, sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed me by.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So, what is it that you say you think you've left behind?
Yeah, well, that's a little embarrassing to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But then I had finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he surely not?
Exactly, surely not. You have to say yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course not. I couldn't.
Poor Holmes.
Oh my gosh.
So there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
But scalpel is like really sharp. Wouldn't that start cutting through your belly?
Oh my gosh.
That's my concern, actually, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. And now I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as I can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure.
His scalpel is really sharp. Oh, mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of Phoenix. Stop.
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean?
Are you from the East Shop? Stop.
Huh? East Shop? What? No, Far East. Empire Japan, that's me.
All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Stop. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Stop.
Oh, but now we have electronic telegrams, so we can send messages using electronic signals. Yeah. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
You are well informed, young lady. Stop. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop.
And just when was I'm just starting to catch up.
Radio transmission is the future. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmospheric electric. Stop.
Right. Try not to wear out your fingers, Kay.
Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop! People say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What other piffle? I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Stop.
Uh-oh. Excuse me. Juror number 3, sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but, what? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess,
Oh, you bet I do! Say that again! Go on! I dare you!
Goodness, are you talking to me?
I think he just might be, yes.
You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional, really.
What a great way to appease the man.
No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are no practical use at all.
Oh? You just don't know!
Pardon?
I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. Whee! I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. Stop!
No, do not demonstrate at all. Stop.
What sort of possibilities exactly?
Well, I take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view from a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before.
What?
Have you got an idea, Bruno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope?
Cute.
Absolutely.
Luke, your Irish voice is better than mine.
How about this print here? It should do the trick. I think,
Photograph taken automatically from Reddit and revolver. What are we looking for?
Take that!
alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints?
Of course I can.
Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate.
I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll
Amaze you.
Amaze you.
I'm seeing photo. We don't have the other print. We don't have the other print.
Crime scene plan. Photograph of Gina.
We don't have another print. I don't know what to do. Don't we have other prints of it? The same. It's 1 a.m.
We only have one
There's
picture.
supposed to be another picture from another perspective.
We
don't have that.
I don't know.
Wait, maybe it's in another folder of different things. Maybe it's in Susato's notebook.
Her notebook?
I don't know.
No, that's the Mr. McGiddle case. We don't have all the photos.
How do we get them all? We're supposed to have another photo.
Take that!
Wait, sorry! What do you mean, one more print?
Oh dear. Don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how stereoscope works? Bruno!
What?
You need 2 photographs for the stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye and one for the right.
Ow, that's painful. Oh, yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbrokery is just a normal photograph.
No. I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints.
Thanks for the friendly explanation.
Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show this young man then.
Haha! I think you'll find that a know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me.
He loves stereoscopes.
Let's get things back on track, shall we, Consul? Oops.
All we need is another shot from a different angle.
and we could see in 3 dimensions.
Hold it!
Can it really show up new clues, though? Don't know unless you try.
How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
We only have 1 picture, though. Oh, this is annoying.
Iris.
Iris, stop.
You're
We don't
insane.
have any other
You've
prints.
gone mad, Iris. You've gone mad. You're a crazy Iris. I mean, maybe we just show the same picture. I'm so confused.
We can't. We have to.
Maybe use the other picture of him dead on the floor. I don't know.
No.
Merge those together.
We have to press the others. I can't get out of this though.
Just present anything.
Yeah.
What, we're gonna lose a point.
No, I don't think we're gonna lose a point.
Why would they tell you to present evidence if you don't have it? I don't know, Kiri. Use the cat photos, says Dr. Clue.
We don't have any cat photos anymore.
I don't think we have the 2 cat photos.
No, there's no cat photos anymore. Nope.
We did have it. One of them has a blood stain on it. That one with the blood stain is a cat photo. No, the one with the blood stain is the cat photo.
Right, but we don't have the cat photos anymore. See, they are evidence that we had before.
Next to it. That one is a cat.
This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like waggy. I always thought the cats like to curl up inside under the heated tatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Actually, now we have both pictures. I could have another go at viewing them as a stereoscopic image. So I need to cross my eyes and try to get the 2 cats to merge into 1. It's such a hard thing to do. Whoever thought of this in the first place must have spent a long time staring.
Yeah, somebody crazy. Probably me.
Alright.
Take that!
Wait, sorry! What do you mean 1 more print?
Oh dear. You failed. Uno! We're bad at this. We need 2 photographs. Like the cat. Meow.
I don't want to do this anymore, Iris.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
I want to take a 15-minute break, Iris.
No. I think you'll find Stereoscope. It means 2 images.
No,
Not 1, my
Iris.
good man.
No, Iris. Don't make us do this, Iris.
Haha! I think you'll find know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Alright, let's end this little circus. Can we get back on task, please?
Thank you, Judge. Thank God.
Okay.
If... Mind made up. Stop. Global transition of verdict. Stop. Do you follow?
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission.
Lavari, stop.
Yes. I'm from Japan.
I don't like your face. We have to get electronic telegrams. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid underneath.
Good for
Thousands
you.
of miles of cables.
Good thing you're not in school, Iris, because all the kids would hate you because you're smarter than everyone. Cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop.
And that's when I was starting to catch up.
Radio transmission is the future. Message. Stop. Excitement. Stop.
Right.
Rowing.
Try not to wear out your fingers.
Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technology revolution. Stop. People say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What other pile of grub? I cannot understand. I really cannot. They're just silly toys.
Don't spare any feelings, will you? It's not like there's anyone else who likes stereoscopes here.
Your armband looks stupid. Stop.
So, why exactly do you think that the defendant is guilty? Stop.
You wear the same outfit every day. Stop.
Stop!
It's quite simple. Stop.
Stop
We have
saying
been
stop.
shown a Chronicles evidence to suggest that he isn't the culprit. Stop. And that, just as the radio waves dodge through the skies faster than the eye can see. Stop. So, we should dodge to the conclusion of this trial. Stop pandering to indecision. Stop.
In motherland, we say, never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. Please tell me you're not Velen Brosevic? Russian revolutionary?
Revolutionary? Stop.
Da, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor, huh? As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out.
Stop.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat.
And which glove fits? Stop.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all time, it is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they're criminal only because of how they look.
And because they shot a gun.
They literally, yeah. The Skulkin brothers? Duh. Maybe they went inside shop, but they have nothing wrong. That is what I say. And the Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong then, huh? Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris.
What? What is it, Runo?
These jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they?
Yes. It's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks like, for all the world, like a revolutionary?
He's supposed to be a London citizen.
I wish I knew.
Wow.
Cammy said we missed an event, but I don't know what it was.
Okay. If I can change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
But we know that Guinea would never shoot anyone.
Yeah, we just need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. Drink your tea. I must be ready to do whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Okay,
Tea or gun? Stop.
okay. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocket. Okay.
Oh, whose coat looks military, Droggle? Ryunosuke's or the Russian guy?
Well, let's try to pit juror number... The brothers are scum of the earth. They should swing. Okay.
Yeah,
so
her against the Russian dude.
Yes.
Objection.
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord. Consul, explain yourself.
Oh my, what statement? Contradictory?
Contradict... Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene in the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver.
Mouse and squirrel.
Mouse and squirrel. Moose and squirrel.
Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen. I understand.
Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. The abdomen. Sir? Sorry, my English still learning.
Then how are you on the jury, dude?
You are telling the court you didn't hear?
You're supposed to be a taxpayer and a citizen of the town if you're on the jury.
Forgive me, I do not hear.
It doesn't make any sense.
Here is word. Abdomen, part of person's body, containing stomach and vital organs. If this is what mean, you would say in plain English, I'm Russian, not a native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
Yeah, how was he even allowed on the jury?
So, you are telling me these brothers you look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective, da? This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means When they said never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. It's true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Poor Mouse, enough! I trust no one now. It's not Mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Yes, it is, Runo. Easily.
Huh?
With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Oh!
If we compare the print that pictures Guinea and the next print from the half hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Kwi, Mr. Prosecutor!
Why do you... What? That calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out.
Earl says the juror number 6 is rushing to conclusions.
Wow. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera a half hour after the brothers' flight. So this was
taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken.
That doesn't seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, you have brothers who look like criminals, told one lie. They shot men, they stole nothing. It would seem so, so yes. Good. No, not good! You're right, I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. Wow, just like that. Okay.
What is that, innocent?
Yeah.
Yay! Well done, Runo! The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in that than these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might turn the situation in our favor still. Alright then, thank you, Consul. Continue with your summation examination, please. Kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff. It'll be filled as evidence. Yay! Now we can press that guy. Another print in the court record, huh? I wonder if we can make use of that. Yes, you can, you moron.
Everybody's seeing poor Mousy.
In the Lake of Lies is... it sounds too much like Dracula. The Lake of Lies, many dead fish must find truth. Therefore, I seek not guilty verdict.
That's because Russia is an Eastern European accent or something.
Yeah, Wallachia and Russia, they have similar dialect. The trial will be over.
But we know that Guinea would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. Must be ready to go whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Her face is... All the evidence clearly points to blah blah blah.
All we need is another shot from a slightly different thing.
Okay.
We have 2 photographs down.
We do have post-photograph shooting. Okay. Oh, we have
Present.
to... No. Okay.
Hold it!
Wait.
Can it really show up in new clues?
Don't know unless you try. How about these prints here? It should do the trick.
We do 2 of them?
We do 2 of them. Photograph of Gina. Present.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do it with any 2 suitable photographs?
Yes, of course I can.
I'm cross-eyed for life. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate.
I'd be delighted to. Give me one more print and I'll analyze it for you.
Photograph after the shooting.
Take that!
Okay. Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera and Windibanks on the night in question.
Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how telegraphic images work? Do you understand the principle?
Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday.
Oh, you have an old viewer who used to watch your Arkham stuff and came back.
Oh, thank you.
And it says, I used to watch you guys Arkham vids and in middle school, and now I'm graduated.
Congratulations.
Maybe, awesome. Thank you so much for watching, Sherbet Monkey.
Yep, we actually, there is a couple Batman videos that are in development right now. There's an Arkham lore video on Batman 89 Chapter 1 Shadows, which we'll be releasing tomorrow. It's the first, like, kind of lore / comic book review I've done in 6 months.
And if you guys are old viewers or new, check out the newsletter. It's KwingsLetsPlays.com.
Yes, this channel has a official newsletter, KwingsLetsPlays.com, where I write out a newsletter every night, telling you all the streams and happenings of the channel, and it's delivered to your email directly around noon or 3 o'clock every day. Alright, the left and right images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in positions of the same objects. Whoa! Then, when your brain merges the two images together, inside your head, it notices a shift as it was more in depth. Okay, that's painful.
Yes, exactly. It's the small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important.
So what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then? This is temporary, guys. This is just today, or my throat's gonna be destroyed.
No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally, anyway. Oh! Oh! Of course, now I see. Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have! Ah!
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh, Iris, you're cross-eyed.
I have.
Iris is so cute.
Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
They're stuck that way.
Have another look at these two pictures of Hurley's. Go on.
Iris even looks cute with her eyes crossed.
Can you see that there's really an obvious difference?
Of course there is. There are two people in the first and no people in the second.
Well, yeah, you can see that straight away, but now try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
Alright, I'll give it a go.
Cross
So
your
I
eyes,
start
Bruno.
with... You have to cross your eyes and try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait! I'm just waiting for the images to move.
Oh my gosh, I was trying to do it.
Well, did you manage to see it properly?
I saw it! I guess.
I didn't see it.
Ah! What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter are sort of jumping out at you.
Everyone's cross-eyed.
Yes, that is it, you see? That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power? Is someone gonna explain this black magic to me, huh? Why the deuce do some of these things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that,
I think you'll find if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question.
Basic principles of stereoscope. Stop.
As I've said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's a slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows in actuality that there's something a bit slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must be something. I don't know.
There must have been.
Now hold the fire there, sir. Get a reasonable grasp of the whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does the shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What, me? No. I haven't the first idea.
Oh, you know, Runo, it's quite simple.
It is?
Yes. Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. And then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. but the position of some of the items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So, that means...
Goodbye, Kwings' voice. That means that sometimes in the half-hour interval... Oh my gosh, no! No, Amber. Someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zonkers! Someone tampered?
Oh, new information. Stop. Not mentioning testimony so far. Stop.
Yeah. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems, but I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? And why? Are you suggesting you might know, sir? Of course I do. I can tell you right now who's responsible for almost the
Imperceptible shift.
imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. I would say probably
The shop owner.
either one of these guys,
Oh,
maybe.
one of those guys. Oh, I think the other guy is too short to touch the counter.
It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait! This does not agree with what brother said in testimony before.
Please stop squeezing me. I'm a mouse.
They said that they did not have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book said dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But this is another lie. Is what you are saying, yes? Yes, I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on there a moment. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick-pass after all. It's perfectly plausible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly would you say that, my dear man?
As you can see from the photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem as my learned friend indicated that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter.
It's true.
All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
Oh no!
But the accursed is a pick-pass. I mean the accused. Common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here?
Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse, than a pickpars. I believe these brothers were looking for something on the victim's... believe the brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by these two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. He headbutts. Oh, because his hands have to be clean. Because he's a surgeon.
Oh, right. But why would he be in a surgery outfit right now?
Because he just came after operating on Sholmes. Sholmes is the one with the scalpel in his abdomen.
That could be really dangerous.
Can you all see now? I think you all find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen extraordinary potential firsthand. Aha!
Innocent.
Yep.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Wilmington Home, Regent Street. Stop. Wait, she's gonna purchase a stereoscope.
I guess.
She just said must purchase after trial.
Well, it would seem this trial is yet to run its course again. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via mighty scales of justice. Hereby call the summation examination to conclusion, with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. To lean to guilty for lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without conscience. And I order this trial to continue henceforth.
Oh, yay! Well done! Oh, by the way,
What?
You should look. Hold on to this, Reno. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. The stereoscope has been entered into the court record.
Lord Van Dracula, you will instruct the witnesses of the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the banquet to do so, my lord.
Alright. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities tonight at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent.
That's right. Stop.
To be continued. Stop. Alright.
R.I.P. Luke's voice. Stop.
I'm okay. Let's continue a little bit more, because I'm sure they're going to open up with the thieves. So we'll do some more of the thieves. And then when we get to Gina, if we bring Gina to the stand, we'll stop. Okay, here we go.
If we bring Gina to the stand, we'll stop. Stop. Oh, great. Gina.
Alright then, alright. Everybody, I hope you've all enjoyed your little break.
I could do a lower Gina voice.
Order, please. Let's resume the proceedings, please. Witnesses, you will now take the stand. Immediately.
I could get some more tea and then try to do Iris's voice.
You're still going to have to rest your voice, but...
I presume you heard the defense's counsel summation examination?
Oh, yes, Governor.
We did, Gov. I did anyway.
They're sweating.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Oh, blimey!
Oh, this is gonna be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered the Windibanks, correct?
Well, it was soon as we went in, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me looky pockets.
Right. However, that was a lie. You brothers...
Oh, call me blimey!
On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
We never done nothing of the sort. Oh, how do you figure that out? Oops.
Oh. They admitted it.
You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question. And this time you will tell the truth and nothing but it.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment.
Oh, wow.
In that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
They're gonna be in jail forever.
A thought worth pondering, perhaps.
Say no more, Gov! We'll blooming speak the truth, we'll preach. There's something.
Witness testimony.
I'm sorry, sir.
Illegal entry, the whole truth and nothing but it.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling or tough nothing.
It was, and we heard the gunshot, so he made us both jump, and all the stuff went flying.
Lumi, it didn't even give it before it. Oh, we was thinking the shooter came out of the door and get us next.
We, stuck everything back where we found it and scrapped straight into the back, in the black.
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never seen a chance, did we?
I feel like they did shoot him.
You admit to the defense's accusation? You did indeed ransack Mr. Windbag's countertop on the night in question?
Not ransack, Governor, no,
That's right, Nash, that's right. It's, more like we tidied up, yeah.
Tidied up.
I hate these stupid witnesses.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
By their own admission, the brothers entered the pawn shop under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good the mess.
The way you say it, we sound like roughs and all.
We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't make us sound a bit more cutthroat.
It can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at the Windibanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Okay. Cross-examination. Alright.
More than meets the eye.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we aren't rifling with nothing.
Hang on a second.
No, you did.
If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to the effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we?
Oh, we ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to try something like that, people would think we's up to no good.
That's right, well said, Ringo. Me old China. What? We only had to land ourselves in even more trouble.
And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more hot water.
Yep.
Oh, well,
But that's rotten luck, isn't it?
Says the rotten apples eaters.
Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
we never ransacked nothing.
Been right, Nash. We were just tying the place up.
Sorry.
It was when we heard the gunshot. It made us jump and all that stuff went flying.
Hang on a second. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter?
Well, it shocked us, but yeah, this bag of nerves needs to lean to keep its shirt on.
Look, it was loud, right? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang.
Bang! Big bruv, we scared look bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over loads of books, a candlestick, and some, skull whatnot.
Wait, is he saying the purple guy is his bigger brother? His older brother?
That got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, we knocked them scales on the floor.
You've really mastered working quietly then, huh?
Huh?
What wrecked, me granny would have been scared back into her grave, clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshots took you by surprise.
And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and then sudden BAM!
Oh, wow.
The picture of the scene to the right is shot next, skulking on the floor.
What's going on, Inspector? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add?
Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels.
No, nothing to add about their testimony? You seem to react just now at Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something?
It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only, well, the fact is, the cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details.
How about you just tell us what's on your mind?
Right then. As you know, we brought these fellows into the yard for questioning last night, and the statement they gave then told a slightly different story as to what they're saying now.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
Did it?
you claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, does ring a bell, now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, I can't help feeling like perhaps you've seen a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness's testimony has been more sloppy than it was hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy, easy.
Oh, my God.
Well, we'll get it right this time.
That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now.
Then speak, you fools! Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs.
Right you are, Gov.
Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me the gun!"
Hold it!
Who was it?
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously?
We did, Gov, we did! Yes.
Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yelling, all.
If I don't want to get shot, give me that gun!
And blam!
Kind of thing?
A career in acting, tragically missed.
Oh my gosh.
And where were the voices coming from, could you tell?
Of course we could found from the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom where the victim was found dead, huh?
In the voice you heard, it was the victim, Mr. Windibank. On me granny's life, course it was.
On Granny's life, course it was.
So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windibank and the sound of his voice.
What? What do you mean, what?
What? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would seem that.
No, we didn't know the geezer.
I'm supposed to deny it when that bloke and all the fancy clobbers giving us the devil's eye. If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. Oh, on me granny's life it is.
Oh, on Granny's life it must be.
Oh, it's getting good, this Granny's dead thing.
To surmise then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you heard the gunshot. Bang! Causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them all over the shop floor. Oh, you make it sound like we're clumsy.
Oh, don't forget we tidied up after the good old little boys. Anyway, you see it, the bloke, opened the place was holding a gun, so he could have, fired instead of yelling at the girl.
Oh my gosh. You're saying that Mr. Windibank had a gun in his hands?
Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted it, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot."
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind you. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windibank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, alarmingly misguided.
I know.
Well, certainly sounded like was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person was getting shot beat him to it. Crooked his goose crop up.
I bet he wished to squeeze the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!"
And it was directly after these words that you heard the gunshot?
It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! Oh! I'm dead. Kind of thing.
Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed.
When we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck, before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done slapdash tidying up the place up.
Lemmy didn't have to give you a fight because thinking he'd shoot and come to back and next get us.
So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Nope, not on your life.
It was deadly quiet after that, it did. Put a wind right up in me. But anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No, that it was open.
Yeah, of course. It was locked from the inside. Or so we've been led to believe.
It was, from the inside.
Right! We'd have no way of getting in on there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps?
Don't ring no bells! Don't light no lights!
We'd be able to cut and run. Notice anything like that?
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day... we'll really cut the mustard!
What?
Isn't cut the mustard supposed to
Please cut it out.
cut the mustard?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But as we know, behind the door was the victim's lifeless body with the accused, not 2 feet away. Yeah, unfortunately. Gina was there, unconscious, with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom. That's right, Gov, that's right.
Couldn't have if we even wanted to.
Everything back, we found it and scrapped off. Hang on.
Hold it!
What?
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, we were a bit hasty there.
We was. Truth be told, I was ready shaking like a leaf when, you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, put a loaded gun in your hand. What? If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss. Good advice.
Truth be told, mine went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss.
After that, we legged it down the street, but, apparently, we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us without even winking.
Sorry.
After that, you had been handcuffed. The police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, don't it, eh?
What?
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We've, had the chance, did we?
I don't know. Did you? You tell us. Why should we believe that?
Why should we believe that, then?
Yeah.
What? Well, it's true, isn't it?
Oh, the place was totally empty when we went in. In that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had the gun to his head. I don't think she could reach his head. In other words, on the night in question, these 2 witnesses never laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windbank. Correct.
Or did they?
You've got it, mister!
Down to a D. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windibank. Is that really true? I wonder.
Well, if somebody shot him, why would Gideon shot him?
That's it. That's the full extent of their testimony.
What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you were tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something very important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I've no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movements, their eyes, the swords they choose. You can't take it all in your brain and will quietly analyze it and come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think she's 10 years old. I must be 5. She is 10 years old.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't ruffling nothing.
Uh-huh.
Oh. So she's saying if it seems like you went through everything and something feels not right, you should trust your instincts, yeah.
Hang on a
Should've
second.
just fired. The bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. So maybe.
Yeah, but he's not shown. He doesn't have a
she
gun
had the
himself.
gun.
Yeah, she had the gun.
Maybe we should show that picture of her with the gun.
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That is it, Gov. You've got the picture.
Yes, Nat. Oh, no question.
And yet the photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding a firearm of any description.
What?
Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Yeah, but how would she?
Yeah, that Molly used the victim's own gun. Give me that gun! Ah!
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Anything.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there.
Eh?
If the crime had taken place as you've colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out.
Goodness, are you sure, Consul? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments?
Well,
Do we have an autopsy report? Yes, we do. Good. Okay, where was he shot? Single bullet wound to the upper half of the victim's back.
his back.
He was shot in the back, not in the front. They're holding him up in the front. Autopsy.
Wow.
According to their testimony just now, the witness claims to have heard a shout, "Give me the gun," followed by the gunshot, correct?
Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so I've been led to believe. Such a media circus.
Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if we bring up the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind.
Oh my gosh.
Eh! So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
He couldn't have looked at the person and said, "Give me the gun," if the person shot him from behind.
But, it's the God's honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is. When we've got, when we shot that night.
The shopkeeper's had a gun in his hand, and we would have, our own bleeding eyes.
Thanks, chat. The chat was saying autopsy.
Did I hear just right now you actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, you have all heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Oh my gosh!
Uh-oh. No!
They could have gotten away with it. Now they admitted to saying he said it.
Order! Order!
Oh my gosh.
Witnesses, explain yourselves at once!
Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to,
You will explain. I would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you.
Yeah!
I am to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we,
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we blab now, you know we tell us to do and...
He? Who are they talking about?
Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
I like your count, please.
Bruv, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have our guts in gratis.
In case it hasn't quite sunken in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Do we have to? On pain of death. Yes, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth, and nothing but it.
Witness testimony again.
Alright, we just got inside the gaff and a sigh of relief that the geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
Right, for an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled me gun and legged it forth that door into the back room.
We had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Uh-huh.
It seems like you completely changed your entire story.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop?
Well, yeah, sorry.
Well then, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably now, doesn't it?
But honest, Governor, this time,
this time, Nash, this time we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel of the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination on these sweating liars.
Yes, my lord, I got this. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Encounter with the victim.
Alright, we just got inside the gaff and have...
Okay, I've already heard this. I don't care. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim, the owner of the shop, Mr. Windibank?
Oh, well, sorry. I mean, that's right.
We've been keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought one was gonna come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawn shop storeroom, correct?
Oh yeah, that must be where it's popped up from. Only place to go to bed. So it would seem that the victim was already in the storeroom when the brothers entered the premises.
Which means Kitty must have been in there at the point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the storeroom all alone when the brothers arrived?
I don't know.
Did you see the accused at the time?
What? That Molly Toller, couldn't tell you.
No way, Cobber. We'd had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Uh-huh.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
Okay.
Hold it! So he was saying, give me the gun to them.
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted these words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom.
Did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Was the victim Mr. Windibank wielding a gun at the time? Oh, was he ever? Bloomy loomy, great ugly barrel had it pointed straight at me front piece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with a gun at the time, is that correct?
It is, Guff, it is, spot on.
Well, then all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
It was Beldam, I didn't know it was going for you.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it, I mean.
Mr. Windibanks was mad.
But old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too.
Well, yeah, of course I did.
We knocked it over a load of books and a candlestick and some skull whatnot.
They got tangled in some marionette. We got knocked over a picture frame. We knocked from the scales, blah, 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 blah.
So, in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock these things off the counter.
Well, big brother went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. The old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawn shop. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which is presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the streets, and they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Windybank.
No.
Poor Mr. Winterbank did everything he could to protect his shop. Oh,
I'm sorry.
I pulled me gun at him and legged it to the front door into the back room.
He never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Sure.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it.
Not at all. Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went out and shot himself in the back room, did he?
Locked it was from the inside.
We know it was, because we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, the one good and strong. We couldn't budge it an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Huh? Inside the storeroom with the pawn shop owner was only one other person. The accused. The sole person who could have possibly shot the victim. Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ah!
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, Consul?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot at Mr. Windybank? There could have been.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
What? What's that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you had encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
It did? What is your point, my learned friend?
The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only plausible answer at all.
You have my attention. In that case, let us return to the plan of the premises.
Shot through the door.
The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts, so pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Maybe...
Consul! You must now provide answers to the court in respect of these two conundrums.
Maybe Gina and him were, like, trying to survive from those two. And then, like, she locked the door after he had been shot. She locked the door so they couldn't finish him off or something.
How did she get knocked out then, Amber?
I don't know.
And two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe?
Maybe she passed out because she was stressed out.
No, I think she was hit in the head. And then framed.
Indeed, namely. From what location did the culprit shoot the victim, and furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
Are you all right, Ryuno?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can provide that there is a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely.
You have my attention, so now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan that answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where the position they could have fired the gun.
I would probably say outside the vault. Been right here.
Yeah, they could have shot him from there, and then he would have been inside the vault.
The defense believes that the culprit could have been shot from this location here. In answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where would the victim be at the time?
Inside.
Inside the vault. Like,
Inside the storeroom.
right here.
Yeah.
Take that!
Right where he lay down. Poor Mr. Windibanks.
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you admit that the shot was fired from outside. So you're adamant that the shot was fired outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony,
I pulled me gun, and then I legged it to the door into the back room.
if Mr. Windibank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Ah! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Yeah! Wah! What?
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. What?
Poor man shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away! So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windibank?
Objection!
I am sure my learned friend couldn't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the storeroom. Do you have also claimed his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Ah, but... What if someone else locked the door? Yes, there was someone else who could have locked the door. Is that so? Very well, Consul. Present your hypothesis to the court. Immediately. In the scenario just described, the defense assertion is the victim was shot from the outside of the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the door of the storeroom outside? Be Gina.
Take that!
Maybe to...
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
Objection! That's absurd! You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what reason? What possible purpose? Such actions would have only served to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, Consul?
to keep safe from those guys.
Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, that isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, Consul. Remember that, please.
But of course Skinny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
Huh? It does?
Well, if I was Skinny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into the shop and left the storeroom. Is it the way I told you?
Intruders? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom.
I'm aware of that, yes, it would. Then probably the only moments later the victim fled back through the storeroom, hoping to escape danger. Bang! Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Too late. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life. Bleh!
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would shoot someone because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Yep.
Therefore, there's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers, had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder.
Whoa. I mean,
I say.
You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket?
I don't know.
I should have known it was those three brothers. Look shady in the dense forest. Look.
That's amazing, Ryuno. All the members of the jury seem to firmly be on your side now.
I know, first time ever, and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely you have a verdict of not.
An admirable effort, my learned friend.
Huh? What's this now?
Nani?
He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. Yes, well, for the untrained eye, I dare say, such a,
Chican. Well, I don't even know what that word is. Chicanery? That's what I would guess.
Such a chicanery is a bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malice conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable games here. What? The hypothesis you just forwarded was so intensely credible cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw.
What fatal flaw?
Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord, what's going on? Might I be an idea to explain this volley of a conjuring trick or whatever it is that troops on the ground? The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Ha! Assuming you're not dim-witted to count bullets. By George, counting bullets?
Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh? What is everyone talking about?
Huh?
The council.
Nani?
Yes, sir.
Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime.
2. 2 bullets.
Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. Uh-oh. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. That is correct, yes. Your lordship's understanding is right. Furthermore, we know that the 2 firearms involved in the incident, the revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend.
Huh?
You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yes, I did. Oh my goodness! I think you'll find...
Yeah, that single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means.
Mr. Windybank, not shot by the same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop.
Exactly. Yes, my little friend, street performer presented an incredible argument. However, it is never anything more than diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Oh no! Whoa!
We don't know that there was only one bullet from each gun.
Order! Order! I throw my bottle. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks! But this court needs to open its eyes. Yes, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Oh! The truth is, the accused broke into the pawn shop on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond a doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon.
Oh my goodness.
And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present.
That's the disc!
Oh, wow.
I'll be taking that whatsoever down to the yard. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, don't give it to him. It's mine.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGiddle has to be taken in as evidence now.
Oh,
Oh no, yes, that music box disc. Mr. McGiddle's music box disc.
The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to take off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Yes, make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on the account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which the girl would not stop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact of its peril. Uh-oh. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music disc into the court's evidence counsel as a grim testimony into the defendant's... Lord Van Zeeks,
Inspector Gregson? What?
Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc would be used as evidence. I lied.
What's this about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all.
I am unaware of such a meeting. But those were instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs insisted it. I do not play by your rules. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. But
uh-oh.
the prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, Baloff.
The music box has been added into the court record.
Oh, something is going on with that disc.
The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. I win. There is nothing more to add. Now, get me another bottle. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case.
Whoa.
I don't believe it. And that will have to wait until tomorrow.
Aww.
Yep. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Great job doing Iris's voice. Sorry it wasn't available.
You'll be fine tomorrow.
I know.
All right, guys and gals.
I just need tea.
Yes. Yes, you do. Whoopsies. So Mario and Luigi will be starting at 9 o'clock. Or 8:45. I need some time to eat. And then there will be a stream of Gamora tonight in Fortnite.
But anyway, people, thank you so much for watching. As always, at the end of this video, please leave a comment, because it does help out a lot, as well as liking and sharing after the stream is over, because that way, you know, when you share a video, it during a live stream, it kind of takes you off the video. So you can do that afterwards. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. We hope you had fun with this case. And we will have more of it tomorrow as we examine the music box and some other stuff, preferably. Yes. And I will be retiring as the little girl, because I can't do everybody. All right. See you guys around 8:45, 9 o'clock with Mario and Luigi. And also I'm going to get the Fortnite stream set up for Gamora for around 11 o'clock. So.
Awesome.
Yep. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in a bit.
And thank you, Capcom, for providing a copy of the game. See ya.
God bless, happy gaming. See ya. Couldn't you just end it on the other computer?
No, I can't. It ended.